The 10 must-haves for your serviced accommodations. Hello, my name is Mark Fitzgerald, and the 10 things that you must definitely make sure you have in your serviced accommodation units are as follows. At number 1, we've got to have good furniture. You must have a premium mattress on all of your beds. Do not scrimp on this, or you will suffer with bad reviews when people cannot sleep well. If nothing else, have the best night's sleep ever in your serviced accommodation units, you are onto a winner. You will have done really, really well, and you will put yourself above a lot of other people out there. So make sure that you buy the best mattresses, buy the best complete bed units as well. Don't buy cheap framed beds that maybe will squeak after time. Get something that's hard, something that's going to be there for and stand the test of time. Get zipper link beds as well, so that you can take a double and create 2 singles, which case you can boost your revenue up each and every night that you do that in your serviced accommodation businesses. And of course, make sure that your furniture is good as well. Try not to have mismatched furniture around the property. Try to make it sleek. Try to make it all look good. Make it something that you're proud of, something when you walk in you think to yourself, do you know what, I'd love to live in my serviced accommodation, my short-term rental units. And when I say serviced accommodation, I do mean short-term rentals, Airbnb, booking.coms, holiday lets. Those are all the different names that these can be given. But I use serviced accommodation the most. Why? Because A, we want to deliver a service to our customers, and of course it is accommodation. It is short-term accommodation. So make sure that your furniture matches the sort of design of your room. And if you have to spend a little bit extra at the beginning to do this, to get better quality furniture, then do this. There can be great, marketplace on Facebook can be great for picking things up. Of course, eBay, your local free ads as well. People are giving things away, but try to get it all to match. Try to get the colors the same so that when you walk in, it doesn't look like you've just gone and bought the odd bit of furniture here, there, and everywhere and put it together. But make sure your beds are a premium, that your mattresses are the best mattresses that money can buy in your budget, and you will set yourself on to a winning serviced accommodation by just doing that one thing. And we've still got 9 more to go. So at number 2, it's all about your linen, your bed linen. Again, try to get some premium bed linen. It doesn't have to cost you the earth, but don't go for cheap linen that's highly polyestery, or makes loads of noises whenever you move in the bed. Nobody likes anything like that. It wants to be of a bit of a premium feel to it as well. No point in scrimping on things right here and now. You don't need the high top end linen, but you do need decent stuff. You want nice towels as well, soft towels that people can use. You want to have, if you've got a shower in your unit, you want to have one of those nice mats that goes on the floor so that it can mop up any leakages or anything like that, but it's nice to step out to. Give your serviced accommodation units a real premium feel, and it doesn't, as I say, have to cost you the world to be able to do that. So make sure that your linen is of a good standard, because there's no point in having the most comfiest beds in the world if, when you move or your partner moves, if you're sharing a bed with anybody else, all you can hear is rustling and it wakes you up and it feels like you're wrapped in wrapping paper rather than snuggled up nicely in a nice comfortable bed. And make sure your towels are a premium as well. No point in drying your back and feeling like sandpaper, is there? You want a good premium quad up there. And of course, change these regularly as well when they need it. If you're starting to get stains or you're starting to get problems, or the overall quality feel of these products is starting to feel a little bit run down, don't be afraid to change these things. And of course, you can use companies to hire these products as well, and I do like that myself. I like to hire these products out, and it depends how big you are. If you're a massive consortium and you've got over 10 properties, I would say maybe you want to start owning your own products because it's more cost effective. But in the beginning, renting these out, renting linen out, renting towels and things to try and get a good premium isn't a bad idea. So that's number 2. Make sure you've got good linen, good premium feel to everything there. The next thing, which is very, very important, of course, if you've got a serviced accommodation unit with a kitchen, you've got to have all of the home luxuries that people expect. Now, a lot of people know that, you've got to have a cooker, you've got to have a hob, you've got to have a microwave, you've got to have a kettle and a toaster. Sometimes it's nice to just have an espresso machine in there, some coffee sort of making machine. It's very simple, very easy to use. Get the things with the little pods where you just put a pod in, but make sure you've got clear instructions as well of how to use these things, because not everybody will have used them. And sometimes what we can take for granted because we use it every day, somebody else might grab a hold of and think to themselves, how the hell does this thing work? Never used it before in my life. So make sure you've always got clear instructions with any of the appliances that you've got there. If you've got a washing machine, if you've got a dishwasher, this is what we expect. This is how you use it. And please make sure that you follow the instructions. What I like to do in my units is we have little picture frames and we have little instruction manuals near where a lot of the appliances are in our units. So it's quite easy to just look at the instructions that are right there on the wall in front of you and be able to use the appliance. Now, of course, if it's tiled around your kitchen and you can't do that, then of course you could just have a folder or something quite nice in the kitchen that you can just open up, and it's got your clear instructions to be able to use. But make sure you go a bit above and beyond. You don't have to do all of this to start with. You don't have to have all the coffee machines and everything like that to start with. But as you grow, as you start building profits into your business, invest in some of these things because they really are nice to have. Some people will look at the extras that they can have on your listings, on your booking.coms or your Airbnb listings to see what's there. And if they can see some of these little luxury things, these little luxury items that you can have there, then they're going to be more inclined to take a bigger look or a better look at your listing and potentially even get bookings. Okay. Number 4, you've got to have TV. Okay. We are going to talk about internet in a minute, but you've got to have TVs there. You really want to have your sort of Netflix as a standard in there. Amazon Prime, which is a good one as well. Of course, you can have Disney for the kids, but do have some sort of subscription-based product on your televisions. And also try and get a television that potentially has a USB slot behind it so that if people want to bring their own Fire Sticks or any little devices that they can plug in to have a home from home, it's easy for them to do so. Also put that in your instructions, your house rules, your house guide, that you can do this. Try and get a TV where it's easy to do. If your TV is on the wall and it's straight at the side, you could say, on the right hand side at the lower side, there's a USB slot. You can plug in your Fire Stick and of course you can watch all your channels and things like that as well. Very important if families are going to be staying there, because if they've got young kids and they want to entertain them, yes, they may have tablets and stuff, but if they can get it all going on the TV nice and easily as well, that could be another plus side for them. So make sure you've got entertainment systems there that are very good, nice flat screen tellies and things, modernize on those. You can get them really cost effective at the moment. You don't necessarily have to have it in every room, but I have seen where it's in the bedrooms as well. Some people like to fall asleep with the tellies on and things, and that's what they like about hotels. So if you can afford to put a cheap, smaller screen telly in the bedrooms, then do so as well, because it will help you in the long run. And if you need help with your serviced accommodation business, we have the ultimate serviced accommodation business builder training program. But on my website, we have the 10 steps to building a serviced accommodation ebook, which is completely free for you to download. So if you visit thepropertyunleashed.com, if you scroll down, you'll see the free serviced accommodation ebook. Download your copy now, have a good read through it, and it will help you in setting up your serviced accommodation business. Okay, course number 5 is internet. Now this is as important as being able to breathe air. If your internet is poor, if it is slow, if it just is not fit for purpose to have more than 2 or 3 devices running on it, you need to upgrade your internet. You need to make sure your internet is the best thing about your property. That may sound stupid because it's something really that you cannot control, but you can control which supplier you use and how well it works. Okay, if your internet is good internet, if kids can come there, as I say, if it's for families and they can watch a tablet each and nobody's struggling and fighting for internet, you are onto a winner. Your reviews will be good. Trust me, people a lot of the time will not write in their review internet excellent, but they will if it's bad. You will get downgraded on your review straight away if your internet is not fit for purpose, is not really the top of the range in the area that you have. Now, if you're living in the sticks or your serviced accommodation is in the middle of nowhere, then get the best that you can. But do let people know that the internet signals can be a little bit weaker here because you're up in the hills, because of where you are. A lot of people will want to go to visit those places, to be in those areas. So they won't mind the internet being a bit weaker if you say there is internet, but it's not 100% brilliant, because obviously you can appreciate we're at the cliff edges and stuff, and the signal's not great here. And some people are like that. They'll be like, oh great, there's a weak internet signal there. I can get away from everybody and I can switch off. So it can work in both ways. Don't always think it's going to put your properties down, but just try and get it as good as you can. And of course, if it is going to be a little bit weaker, there's no harm in just letting people know that this may be the case. You don't necessarily have to have it in your listing. You could have it in a pre-booking email, just to say, there are a couple of caveats here. We've got your book in here. We just wanted to let you know this. People will appreciate that. And they can also then plan for it, rather than getting there and being told or finding out for themselves that that is not going to really work for them. That is where you get bad reviews. That is where people get annoyed. Whereas if I know I'm going somewhere with a weak signal, I can make sure that I've done all of the stuff that I needed to do before I get there, and I can just get there. I can chill out and relax and have some good family time, or some good time with whatever it is that I'm planning on doing. The next thing that you need to have in your property, whether they're used by your customers or not, are good cleaning products, okay? Some people may make a mess, they may drop something, they may spill something. They may or may not clean it up. Obviously, their deposit a lot of the time depends on them cleaning things up. Now, if they cannot find your cleaning products to be able to clean your carpet, your sofas, your beds, whatever like that, then they definitely can't do it, which will hamper them. Most people, if they spill something, will try their best. Most people will try their best to clean things up, to at least try and get a stain out, or to start on something so that it's not as bad as, of course, it could be. So do make sure that you've got good cleaning products. The people know where those cleaning products are. And of course, a Hoover and things like that, whilst maybe the people won't be using them, some people will. Some people will hoover up after themselves and things. If they've got young kids running around, maybe dropping a few crumbs and stuff, and people are there for the week, they do want to keep places nice and tidy. And of course, you need to make sure that you've given them everything that they can do it. So, all of those sort of household cleaning products, as safe as you can, in a cupboard that potentially is not available for little prying hands. So have it tucked up and out the way. If you've got I don't know, a cellar or anything like that, anything that's safe for people to get to, or just out of the way a little bit, but of course have it in your house instructions as well. And of course you could even label the cupboard or the door that you store these bits and bobs behind. Okay, but that is very, very important. And that leads us on to 7, which is all about toiletries. Okay, most people will bring their own toiletries when they stay anywhere. But of course, if you've gone to any decent hotels, there's always soap, there's always shampoo, there's potentially toothbrushes there. Depends how far you want to go with it all, but make sure you've got nice towels, as we've said before. You've got toothbrushes potentially there as well. The odd toothbrush already wrapped up that somebody can use in an emergency is a little Brucey bonus. I have seen that before, and I have thought to myself, do you know what? I like that idea. I'm going to do that in mine. But have soap at a bare minimum, good little product of soap, maybe even a little sachet of soap. Somebody wants to take it home with them, fair enough. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. Most people won't. A bit of shampoo, a little bottle of shampoo, a bit like you will get at the hotels, because it will go a long way. Make sure there's plenty of toilet roll in the property as well. So all of the toilets in your properties have toilet roll in there, and an extra roll just in case, because nobody ever wants to get caught short. And again, if somebody's in there for a week, or there's a family in there for a week, then if these things are in there, yes, it costs you a bit of money, but at the end of the day, it's money well spent to give people that luxury, to make them want to come back again. We like to have kitchen roll as well in the kitchens, because there's nothing worse than spilling something, not having anything there close at hand to be able to wipe things up quickly. And of course, teas and coffees and stuff like that. But toiletries are something that do get overlooked all the time. So make sure that you've got some good toiletries, some good soaps and stuff, and some hand gels and things, just to give it that premium feel. All right. So number 8 is safety equipment. Now, there's a few caveats to safety equipment depending on the type of property that you're doing. In most cases, you want to have in the kitchen a fire blanket. For anything that just goes up quickly in flames or anything, you can pull the fire blanket out, throw it on top, and hopefully that will solve the problem. A lot of people might say put a fire extinguisher in the properties. Now, unless you are, to be compliant, need a fire extinguisher, we don't tend to put fire extinguishers in all of our properties because it tends to almost promote firefighting. And what I would actually prefer is if something goes wrong and there's a fire, I don't really want any of my clients fighting that fire. I want them calling the fire brigade and I want them getting safe. I want them out of the property as quickly and efficiently as they can. Now, you can install fire extinguishers, but I would also like to say to people that the fire extinguisher is there to help you get out of the property. If you need to use a fire extinguisher on your route out, great, but do not fight fires, okay? I don't want to see anybody getting hurt in my properties. I obviously don't want to see my property getting damaged and hurt either, but I would rather people were out safe and deal with the aftermath of a fire than people were in there fighting fires and something, God forbid, happened to them. So make sure you have the safety equipment that's there. Make sure that your fire alarm's working, your smoke detector's working, your carbon monoxide are working. Get them checked regularly and get them signed off, potentially by your cleaners. Have them tested on a weekly basis. Okay, now if somebody's in there for a week, you can't do that. So when you get the changeover, you can, but have a little logbook that potentially is in a cupboard or something out the way that can be pulled out. The fire alarm can be tested, the carbon monoxide can be tested, you can check the dates and the times and everything obviously on your blankets. They will probably be needed to be replaced each year, as will fire extinguishers as they all come out of date. So you need to make sure that you track these, that you stay on top of these, but make sure that somebody, if nothing else, is logging that your smoke detectors, your fire alarms, everything like that are working, okay? And if the batteries need replacing, make sure you're proactive or your team's proactive in getting on with this. Safety has to be a paramount in your properties. So make sure any cleaning products, anything that could be potentially dangerous for toddlers, for small kids, whether or not you think you cater for small kids or not, you just don't know when you might have somebody, a single parent or whatever, coming in, staying in there maybe with a kid. Make sure there's nothing at arms level, or for those little monkey hands when they start trying to get into the different cupboards, that they can grab a hold of and that they can hurt themselves with. That obviously goes for cutlery and all of those sort of things. Try and make sure you have a set cupboard somewhere that potentially can even have a lock on it. You could lock this cupboard, you could have, if nothing else, a padlock on it with a code. You can give them access to the code if they need to get into the cleaning products, if they need to get into anything like that, but keep it away from little ones. Keep it away from anybody that could potentially hurt themselves, and you'll be on to a winner. You'll be able to sleep at night and you'll be able to get those good reviews. And of course, it's all about getting good reviews and customer satisfaction when it comes to your serviced accommodation business. So at number 9, you want to have some storage. I've seen one bed flats that they haven't thought about what people are supposed to do with their clothes. Okay, my wife, personally, when we go anywhere, where we stay anywhere, she likes to get her case, she likes to open up her case, so somewhere where you can put your case that's not particularly on the bed, you know, maybe a stand, one of those case stands, somewhere you can put your case, somewhere she can take her clothes out and she can hang them up. No matter what the size of the property is, even if it's just a bar on the wall, she likes to hang her clothes up. She likes to make sure that she can iron her clothes as well and things. So if you can, have an iron in there, an ironing board and all of those sort of good things as well. Equally to that, I'm quite happy just to live out of a case. I don't need to empty my bag. I'm quite happy just to do that. So again, if you've got a case stand, I can bang my case on, I can have it open and I can live out of that. I'm happy. But if you can have wardrobes, drawers, even if you think you don't need them, even if it's just a couple of drawers and somewhere to hang up your clothes, make sure you've got it there, because there are people who will look for that sort of thing, who won't enjoy it if they cannot hang up their clothes. Okay, so wardrobes of course are great, but also, I mean, if you go to IKEA and things, you can buy little frames with the rail on. You can put them on the wall. At least people can hang things up if they want to. If you're doing micro apartments, they work brilliantly. Of course, if you're doing houses or flats and things, then you may have a little walk-in wardrobe or a closet or somewhere that you can do all of these things, and you can of course store things. So make sure you've got plenty of storage for the bags. Make sure that people can hang their clothes up and things, and make sure if you can, and you do have a little cupboard maybe under the stairs, or even just they used to be called an old airing cupboard. It used to be a cupboard that held the immersion heater. I'm showing my age now, but if you've got a little cupboard like that, make sure there's a hoover in there, maybe a mop and bucket as well. And again, you don't have to let people have access to this, but when your cleaners come in, if they've got access to it, then of course they've got the cleaning products, they've got everything to clean the properties. There's no excuses for them not to be able to do a quick turnaround for you, making sure that your properties are in the best possible condition. So make sure that there are storage areas. If there aren't, have a little look at different ways you can do that. Pinterest is brilliant. If you put in there storage units or storage areas for micro apartments, you'll see some quite ingenious ideas that maybe looking at your serviced accommodation unit, you can actually incorporate into it at a very cost-effective level. And at number 10 of these 10 must-haves for your serviced accommodations, it is all about having a VIP service. So making sure that your guests can get access to your properties very easily. If they need to use a key box, is there adequate lighting for that key box for them to be able to see, to put the code in? Is it clearly defined how to use things? Instruction manuals, getting into the property, what's in the area, things about the place, things that they must know, make sure that they do, make sure that they don't do sort of things. And make sure that the whole experience for you when you walk in is a VIP service. Now, if you're getting started in this and you've never done it before, then stay in your property or ask some friends, maybe some family, but would you do me a favor and act as a customer through the booking process and go and trial it out for me? And I want honest feedback. What did you like? What didn't you like? And what could we do better? It will set you miles above anybody else if you set this up and you actually follow through and do something like this. You've got to have quick response. So if somebody has a problem and they need to message you or they need to message your team, what are your response rates? What can people expect? Set it out in writing so that people can expect if you message us, we will get back to you within 2 hours, or we will get back to you within 24 hours. If somebody's staying there overnight, 24 hours isn't going to work, is it? So make sure that you've got quick response for any of the people's needs and that you've got the systems in place for that. Yes, some things may slip through the crack, and that's when it's all about communication. It is all about talking to those people, maybe apologizing, maybe giving them a slight refund, maybe just giving them an extra night for free or something like that. If need be, if something's gone wrong, be the bigger person, even if it costs you, because what goes around comes around in life, and by helping people and having that VIP service, you will get more direct bookings, you will get more repeat bookings, and you will make more money in the long run. So I hope these 10 must-haves have helped you. If you think of 10 must-haves yourself or something that I've missed, put it in the comments below because I'm always interested. And do make sure that you check out the next video, which will again be on serviced accommodation, so it's going to help you move forward. My name's Mark Fitzgerald, and I hope that I can help you in the future. If you need help with serviced accommodation, we have the ultimate serviced accommodation business builder training program. You can check that out at my website, thepropertyunleashed.com. So all that leaves me to say is check out the next video, and I'll see you there.